Hello and welcome to our presentation about a linear regression model of Kings County home prices. Um, we use the Kings County data set in order to make a model of how home prices work. And to do that, we asked three key questions. We created the model, and then we gave home sellers some actionable insights from that model. What are those key questions? The first one is, what are the most salient features of a house that can be changed in order to impact cycle price? The second question is, which unchangeable features of the house, location, year built, etc., will most dramatically impact sale price? And then finally, will investment in those changeable aspects of the house be cost effective? What did we find? Well, we found that as far as changeable features of a house, the most impactful to change was square footage of living space. Not a huge surprise here. You can look at the graph here, and what it's basically showing you is as square footage increases along the bottom axis, the price of the home increases. And we see a pretty strong correlation there. Basically, the little data points are fitting the line very nicely, which makes us think that it is a very strong feature to determine price. We also found two other features that are changeable that will help increase price. One was grade, which is a Kings County grading feature that goes from 0 to 13, and then condition, which is just a more generalized, also grading feature that just goes from 1 to 5. Basically, these let us know that if we are going to spend money to increase square footage, using things like higher quality materials and higher quality labor do actually pay off. The grades are increased according to quality of house. They're basically a subjective measure of that. So that gives us our three things we can really work on to help increase sale price. And really they kind of are all combined into one, which is let's increase some square footage and let's make sure to do a high quality job of doing it while also increasing the overall condition of the house. Well, what about things that we can't change? Well, unfortunately, those three things are location, location, and location. Zip codes are an extremely influential factor in home prices, as well as waterfront. And we also saw an increase as you went up in latitude. There was an increase in sale price. This is specific to Kings County. I think other places would have different latitude adjustments. Well, we can't change this about a house before we're selling it. This does help us in order to set pricing for the home. We know that if we are in a particularly desirable zip code, like this one down here, 98039 was the most desirable zip code from our model, then you might want to set a higher price than your neighbors in less influential zip codes. Similarly, waterfront is just a high selling point. This is the Seattle metro area. Of course, being close to the water is going to increase home price. Is changing a feature worth it? Well, increasing square footage was the most direct way to increase home price. And doing some math out of it, on average, if you add 100 square feet to a house, you get about $1,000 in additional home value. Again, that's just the square footage. So if you use high quality materials and high quality labor to get a higher quality product, you might see more of an increase. And then that is letting us know also that some of the most influential features we won't ever be able to change. So there may be some cases where this investment in more square footage doesn't actually pay off in comparison to the actual location of the house being the main contributing factor to a lower price or a higher price. That'll vary house to house, of course. So the conclusion is that square footage and build quality are the best things to change about a house. We can increase square footage, but we don't want to do it in a way that would lower condition or grade. We want to make sure we're keeping high standards for those things while also improving those if possible in other aspects of the house. But, and this is a pretty big but, the three most important aspects of selling a home are location, location, location. And our model really kind of shows this to be the case. It's unfortunate but true, but basically the location of a house is still the single most important contributing factor to its value. That said, in the future, we'd like to see if this holds true across all home prices. So make some different models for specific homes, home price categories. So like in a cheap house, what is the most influential factor versus a very expensive house, what's the most influential factor? We also want to like try out our model, see if it works in more like in future scenarios, or whether it is really effective as a predictive model. And then also looking at making specific models for areas to kind of remove location from the equation and give us some maybe finer grained insights into what to do to change a home. Well, thank you very much for your time. That's basically our main points from this presentation, and hope you have a good day. Thanks.